going back to the last year, recruiting a kid from a small town, and take this with a grain of salt. Their dad said to me, "Hey, you know what? It'd be really exciting to come up to Fort McMurray. My daughter's never played for a black coach before." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Spin that block, get dizzy. Man get popped, no busy. Man get splashed from the Draco. Wet man call that drizzy.
Let's fast forward to present day. How has COVID affected the way your program is running now, or the game in general?
For us, it's that face-to-face interaction. We're such a close-knit group, right? And that face-to-face, come to my house, let's have a barbecue, right? Come to my office, let's have some tea. You know what I mean? That interaction is missing. And I think for me, that's a big piece of what I do. And that helps me bridge the gap with these girls sometimes. Because I'm a big personality sometimes, and I can get after people. But it's what I do after that I think it's what makes me who I am as a coach. That's the piece that I hold near to my heart, because they get to see who I am. And that piece is kind of gone now. Yeah, we have Skype, we have Zoom, but it's so impersonal.
Right.
It's so impersonal. So for me, that kind of aspect is kind of gone. And then just the every day, seeing the girls getting in the gym, working on their games, you know what I mean, develop them. And that piece is gone. But, knock on wood, I'm hoping that things will turn around throughout the summer. I don't know if things will ever go back to how it was. But I'm looking forward to the new norm, whatever that's going to be.
So, pre-COVID, I can't remember if it was the last season pre-COVID, there was a picture circulated on Facebook after your squad had won a big game. And if I had it right now, I would share it right now, but I'll put it in after. There's a picture of you and your father on the court. It was after you guys had won.
Yeah.
And I think you're hugging, or he's embracing you.
Yeah, we're hugging, yeah.
Yeah. What's going through your mind, or the emotions in that moment?
Yeah, that's 2019 semifinal provincials. Obviously, we had a wild card berth, so you win that game, you're heading to nationals, whether you win the final or not, right? And that was the final against Holtz. The year previously, we lost my mom to cancer. And my mom was a huge role in my life. And I know, my dad, went through some tough times, because, we want to talk about Bonnie and Clyde, man, they were Bonnie and Clyde, black version. So, all that my dad has ever done for me and my brother, I knew that moment wasn't mine. That moment was for my dad. And so, as soon as the girls won the game, I V-lined right to him. And that's a moment that really typifies my relationship with my dad. It typifies the relationship that I try to instill in our program. Adversity are always going to hit you, whether you're a basketball player, whether you're in life. But you can always count on that one person to always be there. And for me, that's my dad. And for some of these girls, that's me.
That's you. Yep. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. I had no idea about your mom, and my condolences. And
oh, thank you, man.
So clearly there's a lot going on in the world.
Yeah.
A lot of dynamics at play, a lot happening. One thing we can't hide, well, I'll set it like this. If I'm struggling with depression, I can keep that away from people, from the outside world, right? If I don't talk about it, if I just put on a happy face when everyone's around, right. like me not knowing about your mother passing.
Yeah.
you can keep that away from people and just put on a happy face. And no one would know the pain you're going through or the struggles or the battles that you may be facing internally.
Right.
As a Black man, my brother, one thing we can't put away is the external optics of who we are as Black men, right? Talk to me about the dynamics of being a Black coach. In a system where it's like the hierarchy, the ADs, the CEOs of the leagues are predominantly white. Just talk to me about that, and what's that been like in your experience?
Yeah, it's always a surreal experience when you walk into the place and you're one of the only colored person there. Yeah, I went to school that way. I went to college that way. I entered the sheriff's that way. It's just one of those things that it's everyday life. It's real. Yeah. Like, man, I'm 48 years old and I don't think I ever get used to it.
No. Because
I always have that feeling that someone's always saying something in their mind. Oh, look at that guy. Right? What's he doing here? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because that's how I grew up.
Right.
That's how I grew up. But with that said, man, I'm proud to be Black. I wear it every day. I've never thought that, oh, I should be white. I should be this. I should be that. I never ever thought that. And some tough times growing up in Fort Mcmurray back in the 70s and 80s. And, I truly think that eventually this world will change. But until then, we got to keep doing things that we're doing now. I got to keep being who I am. Yeah. I got to keep picking people up, bringing kids in, picking them up, giving them encouragement. That's what I think what life is all about. And if you see me as a Black man doing that, okay. But how about you just see me as a man doing that? It changes the narrative. It changes the narrative.
Right.
We've all seen that movie, A Shoot to Kill. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
That
A Shoot to Kill or A Time to Kill?
Time to Kill. Sorry, my fault. A Time to Kill.
Yeah.
With Samuel L. Jackson, right?
Yep.
And one of the biggest part of the movies that I always remember and I always think about it all the time is when his lawyer told everybody in the courtroom to close their eyes. And they're telling the story about this little girl. And I won't go into details, but you know where I'm going with this story. And then he told everyone to think that girl was white.
Yeah. Powerful moment.
Change everybody's perspective, right? Yep. And it's really tough that people always look at, oh, you're a Black man, you're a Black man. Yeah, that's right, I am. But at the end of the day, does it really matter?
Yeah.
Right? Does it really matter? Going back to last year, recruiting a kid from a small town, take this with a grain of salt. Their dad said to me, hey, you know what? It'd be really exciting to come up to Fort Mcmurray. My daughter's never played for a Black coach before. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. And I kind of just let that go because I can't fault him for his ignorance. I can't do that. I can't do that. But this is last year, man. This is the world we live in. And it's really, really, really tough to raise 3 kids. You know what I mean? I'm Black, my wife is white. They have tan color skin. But when they're out there,
they're Black.
Right?
Yep.
So we got a lot more work to do.
Yes, sir.
I keep going and stay positive.
Yes, sir. Man, thank you for that transparent dialogue. We do this show, me and my partners, we do this show to give a platform for people to speak, right? CTV is not showing up to talk to a lot of people. Shaw ain't showing up to talk to a lot of people, although shout out to Shaw, they do good work. But just that story you told, I hope those who do stumble upon this video really take that in, right? Because a lot of the times, you know, what I deal with and what I hear is like, well, it's sports, leave the race and stuff out of it. But what people don't understand, it's not an option for us to leave it out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? People deal with stuff like this every day, and we just have to we just gotta lace up our boots and keep going. No matter what the circumstances is. Hearing a parent say that, I don't know how I would have reacted. I would have been in shock, mm-hmm. right? But this is the life we live, and as you said, there's still a lot of work to be done.
Absolutely.
So speaking of work, I know you've got appointed to a new role, and I'm extremely happy about that. Can you kind of break that down for us? What's the role? What that entail, and what's your vision?
Yeah, wow. Well, I'm the new chair of the EDI committee.
Okay.
So Equality, Diversity, and Inequality or Exclusion, the ACAC. It's something that I think that we needed in the ACAC. There was a piece missing, dealing with these inequalities and racial issues that we have in the ACAC. No one's ever said that we never had it, but we're in a position now with all this Black Lives Matters and all the gender equality and all these things that you see on a daily basis. I never put my name up and put my hand up to say, hey, I wanted to do this.
Right.
I think it's something that with this opportunity, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'm going to try to do something special. And I don't know what that is. Right. I want to be that person to allow people of color, people of all different genders, to have a full and fair representation with a voice. And I really think with all the injustices and all this stuff that's happening right now, to me, sometimes I think it's a fad.
Yeah.
And they don't understand that this happens to these individuals every day.
Yeah.
And so if I can be that constant reminder of watch your P's and Q's, then I can do that.
Right.
And again, I don't know what it's going to look like down the road because we're just new. But I think doing things like this, we talked about bringing on some people to enlighten, the world a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
All we can do is try and continue to educate people.
Yeah.
Those who will listen, right? And that's all I want to do.
I salute you, Coach. I salute you, man. And here at the 6 Hour, like anything, I know we've had some scenes, some conversations offline and behind the scenes. Anything I can do to support or help shine a spotlight and educate and bring awareness, you got my full support. So just want to put that out there for you.
Appreciate it.
Spin that block, get dizzy. Man get popped, no fizzy. Man get splashed from the Draco. Wet man call that drizzy.